What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Anime Vanguards video. Today I'm going to be showcasing and explaining the Hollow Knight character, who, trust me, is really good if you know how to use him. Okay, so we're in the sandbox mode, and I'm going to place down the Hollow Seth unit. So his AoE is half of his AoE in a semicircle. So we're going to upgrade him a little bit more, and he's going to then get a small circle AoE. His next attack is a very small cone AoE. And then lastly, he has full AoE. So you can see right here, his damage is actually really good, and his SBA actually isn't bad either for a full AoE unit. The only thing that's kind of lacking here is his range, but he will make up for it with the soul bar right here. His first passive allows him to generate 3 soul per attack, and then using that soul, he can use these abilities right here. The first one, the Shade Strike, will attack the enemy closest to the base regardless of distance, which is really good. Now, all of this scales off of his damage. The next one is Ascending Dark, which spawns a void zone on the nearest spot on the track for 15 seconds, dealing 20% of this unit's damage per second. So it's actually a little hard to see what these spells look like because the menu's covering it, and he does it near instantly. So if I try to use it and then exit out of it real quickly, I think you can still see the ability. Yep, there we go. That was the Ascending Dark one. Now, I don't really have enough soul to use the Shade Strike, but we probably wouldn't be able to see it anyway. And you can see right here, these little guys are part of his second passive. His second passive spawns in one of these little shades right here at 35% of his damage with a 2-second cooldown every takedown he gets. His second passive also lets him dodge enemy attacks, so the second he attacks him right here, we should actually not get stunned, because the Hollow Seth will dodge the attacks. But these little shade guys are very useful, and he's very much like Yamamoto or Frieza in the sense where he's just continuously spawning these guys in. Now, of course, we actually have one more spell, which is to Embrace the Void, which attacks the highest HP enemy for 400% damage. So I'm gonna save up my soul, and then I'll be back whenever we have 100 of that, so I can show you what this looks like. So we are back, and I have 100 soul right here. So we're gonna use the ability, and you guys will see what this looks like and how much damage this is gonna do. So okay, so it didn't look like there was actually an animation, but there was just a massive amount of damage that was done at that very moment. So, oh wait, no, there was an animation, it's just heavily delayed for whatever reason. Now that we've done all that, there is a way to make him better. If you remember his event quest line, there were quests to get his charms, in which, now I'm going to show you how to use those. Because believe me, I actually was a little confused before I found out how to use them. So, you have to restart the game, or you have to do this before the game even starts. You're gonna see a little menu appear down here next to the settings, and if you click on this, you're gonna get the charms menu, or the soul tree menu, as I should say. So each of these charms will give a buff to the unit, which the Sigil of Reach, for example, will greatly extend range. The Nail Master's will perfect your nail arts, greatly lowering SBA. The Sigil of Focus will grant 20% void cost reduction to all spells. The Barbs of Spite will lash out when any enemy gets too close. The Honed Nail will greatly increase damage. The Shaman Relic will greatly empower the damage of spells. The Void Given Claw will increase sibling summon health by 30%. And then lastly, the Fury of the Forsaken will double his damage, but he loses 10% for every other unit placed. So there's something you're going to notice here. Each of these little charms costs a notch or 2. So the notches will fill out the little circles at the bottom of the soul tree. However, you can equip up to 3 of these charms. So if I equip all of the charms that cost 1 notch, I can have all of those charms equipped like that. But this likely is not the best way to play your Hollow Knight here. All of the charms that greatly increase range or SBA or damage, all of those I would consider really good. But in my personal opinion, the Honed Nail is the best out of those 3. So in my personal opinion, I would actually equip the Sigil of Focus and the Honed Nail. This way you're reducing the cost of all your spells, and then you're also getting more damage. So the Honed Nail will actually increase your damage by 40%, which if we go and upgrade him all the way, is a massive increase right there. And then right here, now, it doesn't display in the menu, but these spells will cost 20% less. Meaning the Embrace the Void now is only 80 now instead of 100. However, I would recommend playing around with the charms to try to figure out which kind of combination you like best, just because there are actually some wrong answers here. So I equipped the one that decreases SBA, and you can see he actually has a lower DPS than he did with the damage one. In my opinion, the charm that increases his damage is the best one here, because it also increases the health of the Lost Shades, since they scale off of his damage. But yeah guys, that's the end of the showcase. Have a great day everyone, good luck on the grind, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
My name is